Mustang Loudmouth gets humbled in pettiest way possible. For 8 years, our quiet rural neighborhood was perfect. 3-acre lots, big yards, peaceful summers. Then Pete moved in. He bought a black Mustang with no muffler, and every night he revved it up and down the street. Weekends were even worse. He'd blast it down the highway so loud you could hear it for miles. Whenever he had friends over, they'd sit in his backyard, revving the car for fun. The HOA group was full of complaints. Neighbors asked him to stop. His response? "I pay a lot for this house. I'll do what I want in my yard." All right, if that's how it's gonna be. I've lived here for 15 years. I know exactly how the wind works in this neighborhood. A long time ago, I had to move my fire pit because the smoke always blew into my old neighbor's yard. But Pete reminded me how much I loved having it in that exact spot, so I moved it back, right next to his yard. The next time Pete had friends over, I lit a fire, and then I added the wettest, nastiest wood I could find. Within minutes, thick smoke filled his yard. His friends started coughing and went inside. They came back out later. I added more wet wood, more smoke. I posted on the HOA Facebook group saying I'd be keeping the fire going and would happily take any yard scraps for fuel. Within hours, 20 neighbors offered their clippings. That fire burned for 3 weeks straight. One day, Pete and his wife finally came over. She was polite, said their whole house smelled like campfire, and that she couldn't even step outside without her hair reeking of smoke. Pete asked if I could stop because it was making it impossible for them to enjoy their backyard. I looked at them and said, "Sometimes we don't realize how much we affect our neighbors until they tell us." Then I added, "But I live by the same rule you do, Pete. I'll do what I want in my yard, right?" His wife immediately got it. She turned to him and said, "We won't hear the Mustang anymore." I put the fire out that night. Haven't heard his car since.
If you made it this far, you owe me a like. And if you love stories like this, hit follow. I post these all the time.